Welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Alex Colon. This is Dan Costa. And today we're going to talk about the top news of the day, answer one of your questions, and show you one cool thing from the PCMag labs. So let's kick it off with our first news topic, which is actually really good news for travelers who like to use in-flight internet, and that is AT&T is building 4G LTE in the sky. So what can you tell us about that, Dan?
Not a lot. AT&T is not saying exactly how they're going to get this done. We started talking about this in the news meeting. We're like, what does this mean, the LTE in the sky? That shouldn't be possible. We don't know how they're actually going to build it, but it does seem like they're intent on building a ground-to-air communication system that will provide wireless access to both airlines and to passengers by 2015. How they go about it, all the tech details behind it, we're not exactly sure, but right now, this is really good news because right now there's really only one company that offers this service, that's GoGo. If you don't use GoGo, you have no access to internet in the sky. This could be some genuine competition.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very happy that I get to use GoGo, but the speeds are really slow. I mean, I think you get 10 megabits of downstream for the entire plane. So, if everyone's connected, you're basically getting zero bandwidth.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not great for streaming, so you're not going to get that Netflix in the sky that everybody really wants. So, this could be some promise. This is a very promising development. How they do it, that's really going to be the question, and what it's going to cost.
Yes. And speaking of Netflix, it is not coming to the sky, but it might be getting faster for Verizon users.
Yeah. Netflix just signed a peering agreement with Comcast a couple of months ago, which they did not want to have to do, but they said they had to do in order to ensure they could deliver fast streams to Comcast customers. You look at what's happened to their network speed at Comcast since then, it's gone way, way up. Verizon has been flatlining. Now they're going to do a similar deal with Verizon, basically co-locate some of their services so they can deliver fast, high-quality HD streams.
The only weird thing here is, though, it kind of goes against what Netflix believes about net neutrality.
Yeah, I mean, if Netflix had its way, and if any net neutrality advocate had his way, which we don't seem to be getting our way at this point, all of these connections would be essentially free. All internet data would be treated the same. You wouldn't have to pay extra in order to make sure you get a nice, high-quality video stream. All the data would be treated the same. Basically, in this case, Netflix is saying, you know what, we don't want to do it, but we know we have to do it, so they are paying extra. And the government's basically staying out of it and saying, no, this doesn't involve net neutrality, but it very clearly does. They're paying for a fast lane on the internet.
Yeah, and as Netflix pays more money, I wouldn't be surprised if ultimately customers might start seeing some increase in the future.
That's eventually what's going to have to happen. I mean, you got to wonder, how long can Netflix keep its pricing where it is? It's experimented with a lot of pricing in the past, but it's a pretty affordable service. If they have to start paying for all these peering agreements, that could drive up costs.
And yeah, that said, I don't think that this is the last deal like this that we'll see them sign.
I'm afraid not.
Well, let's get into some more fun news, which is that Apple has some new MacBook Airs out.
Yeah, the MacBook Air, we saw they took the store down last night. We were like, oh, I wonder what they're going to do. Basically, very little fanfare associated with this rev, in part because it's really just a speeds and feeds bump. They're going from 1.3 gigahertz to 1.4. They're using Intel's latest Haswell architecture. It's a significant speed, but they're also cutting the price on the entry-level MacBook, so it'll start at $800 now. That's a good news because this is sort of their low-end offering.
And it's the cheapest that we've ever seen a MacBook Air.
Yeah, and so, I mean, they're really doing a pretty great job marketing these just by putting them out there. I don't think they're generating a lot of buzz, but this is one of the most successful laptops ever made. And we were commenting that the design of it has not changed in years. It looks exactly the same as it did yesterday.
I think maybe that's why there's less buzz about it, because I feel like, until you see something new, people don't really start talking about it.
Yeah.
But there are a few other things that have stayed the same. It still has 4 gigabytes of RAM. There's no Thunderbolt 2. But in general, I mean, you're going to be paying less to get a more powerful machine than you would have gotten yesterday.
Yeah, I almost bought a MacBook Air this weekend for my son, and now I'm really glad I did not.
Good
I could
timing.
save money and get more processing power.
Okay, let's move on to our question. Murray asks, for people who are holding on to XP, is Linux a good alternative?
Yeah, there's a lot of people asking themselves this question now because XP, of course, no longer being supported by Microsoft. This big Internet Explorer vulnerability is going to get patched for Windows 7 and for Windows 8 users. It is not going to get patched for XP users. So if you're using XP, you've got to get off XP quickly. Is Linux the way to go? I would say no. I would say Linux is still, I mean, you can get some great Linux distros that are very fun, very easy to use. But for the average user, it's just not worth it. We polled the staff. We have precisely one person on staff that thinks that Linux is a good alternative to XP, and he's pretty hardcore. So I don't think it's really a consumer option. I would move up to Windows 7 or Windows 8. or investigate a Mac. You can get those cheaper than ever before at this point.
Including a new MacBook Air.
Indeed.
All right, so now let's show you one cool thing from the labs, which is something that I recently reviewed, and it is called the Porkfolio. As you can see,
now you got to say that very slowly, the Porkfolio, because I kept calling it the Portfolio.
Yes, pork as in pig, which you can see. This is a piggy bank, but it is no ordinary piggy bank. It is a Wi-Fi connected piggy bank. So basically what happens is when you put change into the Portfolio, it will send the amount of money that you just deposited to an app on your phone. So it will continually keep track of how much money is in the bank. Another cool thing is that you can rig the app, so if someone tries to move your Portfolio, or even if they turn it over to take out money, it will send a push notification to your phone. I don't necessarily see this being the sort of thing that adults want, but I think it's a really cool way to maybe teach your kids about saving money. It's fun using the app and seeing the total rise. You can save up to $100 in it. It's kind of a big investment compared to a regular piggy bank because it costs $50, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
It's got some novelty value and great for kids, and it stores what, $100 worth of coins?
Yes.
And available. The app is available for both Android and iPhone.
Yes. So if you want to know more about the Portfolio, you can read about it on PCMag, and we'll see you tomorrow.